Just 24 days to the election, 28 hours till the great debate. And I don't know about you, but as I listen to us talking on the way to this election, and especially through this debate weekend, I find that many, if not most of us, find ourselves very discouraged. And many, for sure not all, are sad or maybe even angry at the candidates the two political parties have put forward. Many people of faith are torn that neither candidate fully represents our own principles and values. And those who affiliate with one political party or the other find themselves in a dilemma as well. And many of us are scared to death what will become of us if the one we think is right for this country loses to the other who we perhaps think is very wrong for this country. And into this mess of things, and here just 28 hours before this potentially very significant debate, here falls this gospel story of 10 lepers on the side of the road, kept there by society, by their disease, by their incapacity to be involved and belong in the processes of that nation. They stood there crying out, "Jesus, help us. Jesus, please help us." And he did. But the rest moved on from that quickly, it seems. Only one really felt enough gratitude that his gratitude would change his life even more than the healing from leprosy. And so Jesus simply says, "Where are the other 9? Don't they all have reasons for gratitude? All 10 of them received the very same gift. What happened to their gratitude? Did they never feel it, or did they feel it and lose it somehow along the way, even perhaps so quickly?" The invitation I'm hearing in this gospel, in this circumstance for our nation, in the circumstance which we find ourselves, in our nation, in our city, and for ourselves, is clear. It's an invitation to gratitude. To hear those words, "Where are the other 9?" and ask ourselves, what has come of our gratitude? This story implies that don't we all still, in the mess of things, have reason to be grateful? Then why are we just so only, it seems, downcast about all this, even depressed about all this? We need, you and I, we need to not go into the voting booth despairing or in resignation to anything, to even making a choice that is between two evils and trying to figure out which one is the less of two evils. We, you and I, need to walk into a voting booth with gratitude. Gratitude has somehow got to find its way into our heart as we do this. Gratitude, to do it with truly grateful heart. And if we can't, Jesus is going to ask us as surely as he asked these. He's going to say, "What's come of your gratitude? Where did it go? Why isn't it there anymore? What's come of your gratitude?" Gratitude is something we can have even in the midst of these discouragements that are so real. Gratitude for our citizenship in this nation, as wrong as things are. Gratitude that you and I can be a part of something bigger than ourselves and vote. Just 145 years ago, you know as well as I, blacks in the United States were granted for the first time the right to vote, just 145 years ago. And just 94 years ago, women. And I myself was not allowed to vote when I was 18, 19, and 20. Just 45 years ago, did so many of us in those days work really hard to make sure that 18 and 19 and 20-year-olds could vote as well, because my peers were fighting in a war they had nothing to say about and they were dying. And it was only right that 18 and 19 and 20-year-olds should be included in this amazing privilege to vote. It stirred so much in me, so much in my mind then. I can remember what it's like at the age of 21 to get that voter card in the mail for the first time, and what it was like to look at that and be profoundly affected by what almost felt like I was an adult in this country now, among us, among you, among the rest. I have too many reasons to vote, but what makes me excited to vote is, at least in part, what voting symbolizes. The responsibilities it brings of adulthood, and what my vote can, in some small way, affect. However, having the capability to affect something, to make a difference, no matter how insignificant, leaves us also with the ability to say, when we cast that vote, I belong here. And even if I'm in a minority, I belong. And I'm so grateful that you and I can watch out for our children and our children's children the best we can. I'm grateful that we can do what we can do to make a difference. Grateful that we have a say in the future of our country, and through us, the world. Even though it's a tiny part, it is something, and that's not a tiny part. But even more, I'm grateful that we can be a voice for those who have no voice. You tell me who they are. Are they the unborn? Are they women? Are they the mentally ill? Are they the poor? Are they the undereducated and the underemployed? Are they those who are oppressed by the powerful and afraid of the powerless? Are they people of faith? Are they atheists whom nobody will elect or listen to without suspicion? Are they migrants who left what's left of their homes for a better life for their families and especially for their children? Those 10 lepers stood on the side of the road saying, will somebody listen to me? Jesus, help. And there's so many people, so many voices on the sidelines of the road saying to us as we move towards this election, help, will somebody listen to me? Will somebody cast a vote in my name because I can't? Disciples of Jesus, they say, have pity on us. Do you know what a privilege it is to stand for them in that booth, you and I? What a privilege it is to give voice to those who feel they have no voice. You and I have been given so much. We know that. We're the lucky ones. We have a voice. Granted, these are not the candidates perhaps we would have chosen. But we can feel so lucky, very lucky, that we're free to vote, that I'm free to vote, and so are you. And I'm grateful. And this really matters to me to say that this vote won't be the last thing I do for this country. It's not the last thing I'll do to make this country better so that we can be a light to all the nations of the world. And whether my candidate wins or loses, I have so much to do that I can do to raise my own consciousness of what needs to happen in this world and help raise perhaps the consciousness of others to the passions and values of a love that always respects those who see things differently than I do. You're right. These two candidates are both imperfect, and in each of our minds, perhaps one more imperfect than the other. But I can't wait to listen to the discussion tomorrow night over at Washington University in that athletic complex. And I can't wait to continue to study the issues as they emerge these last few days and the solutions that are being proposed. And I am convinced I can flip some of my discouragement and even perhaps despair into something else also, into resolve and into gratitude. At the very least, alongside of my discouragement. It can coexist, it can, with some sense, some feeling that I'm really grateful to be able to do this. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to vote in just 24 days because I'm just so grateful. My wish for us is that we pursue the right without self-righteousness, that we may know unity without any need for conformity, and that we grow in strength without pride in self. May we, in our dealings with all the peoples of the earth, ever speak truth with love and ever serve justice with peace. And though we may lose our optimism, may we never lose our hope.